Let me tell you guys about Belly Up Sports. Belly Up Sports is the internet sports bar. Go ahead and check out their website, www.bellyupsports.com, to read some great articles from great writers all across the country, from hockey, baseball, golf, soccer, you name it. Belly Up Sports is the premier, not your average website. Teams, if you guys aren't fully aware of the format that Ligue 1 uses, they have 18 teams. And for relegation, 18th and 17th are automatically relegated. 16th place gets to do a play-in game against the third place team in League 2. So, in case you guys didn't know, that's how it's done there in Ligue 1. So the new teams that are in Ligue 1 this season, we have Lorient, who is from a 1-year absence. So they were obviously there the previous season. Now they're back. They got promoted once again. Paris FC, who hasn't been in Ligue 1 in 46 years.
Yep.
Also, fun fact, they are next door neighbors to PSG Stadium.
Yep.
So
that's gonna be a new derby. That's gonna be a new derby, the Paris Derby.
That's gonna be so much fun. And crazy also because like PSG is obviously Nike and Jordan, and Paris FC is Adidas. So.
And my thing is like, okay, you may not have the all-star team that PSG does have. You may not have like a really good coach like Luis Enrique, but they're scrappy. I mean, I think their last game they tied and then they won the last one before that, or
Yeah.
they won. Yeah, they tied yesterday, and then before that they ended up winning against Sion. So
Paris FC's got a chip on their shoulder. And the other team is Metz, who, similar to Lorient, was relegated the year before, and then they came back, obviously, this year. So there is that. Just because there's only 2 changes as far as managers goes, I'll go ahead and just point them out. So RC Lens, they're going to be having Pierre Sage. I'm just gonna say that because I don't speak French. Who is replacing Will Still, who resigned. So. Dude just stepped down, and now you have Pierre Sage running RC Lens, and Nantes will now have Luis Castro because Antoine Combare, he stepped down due to mutual consent, which, if you guys ever heard of someone saying we broke up mutually, it's usually never mutually. So, but you do it to save face, right?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, man, this season's gonna be really interesting. I think, Edward, we got to talk about at least the first big storyline, I guess you can follow in this season for Ligue 1, and that is, how does PSG follow up from last year?
Man, dude, that is, well, first and foremost, right now, Hakimi's going through some shit.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry. He's going through some shit. He's going through some stuff.
Sorry for cousin Kelsey.
Yeah, sorry. My bad.
That's all good. The rule is for this podcast, for Belly of Sports' sake, as long as we follow it up with "Sorry for cousin Kelsey," I think we're good. I'm making up this rule.
I apologize. But
I'm making this rule up.
He's going through that basically a legal scandal that's been going on from the past, and now it's just that's going to be one thing. And I know if it affects one player, the way that I see PSG, if it affects one player, the way that Luis Enrique is running the team, it affects all the players. So they know that they still have to keep going, but Hakimi was defending and he was also attacking. He was scoring goals. He was coming into the middle like if he was like a false 9 striker.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was like
I believe he did score the goal. It scored a goal in the Champions League. I mean, there was 5 of them.
Yeah.
But I do believe that. So if you guys aren't fully aware, Hakimi has been accused of SA. I'll let you fill in the blanks on those 2 words. So it's kind of like from what it appears. Obviously, this is outsider's perspective. We have no real full details just yet, but it happened in France, and so there is a new thing that was added on, that there was a found text thread between the accuser of Hakimi that essentially was saying along the lines, "I'm about to get all that I can from this guy." So I don't know if that's true or not. I just know that people. This is the thing. This is such a touchy subject, and I get all that stuff. Unfortunately, but there's obviously the concern that whether it did happen, but there's also the concern of, you know, is this all made up? And I firmly believe this. If you get caught for falsely accusing somebody, you also should be facing some consequences.
Hmm.
So, um, prime example, I always use this one for American sports sake. The whole Sean Oakman situation that happened with him. He was this promising defensive lineman from Baylor. Was a meme for a long time. Just type in Sean Oakman and you'll get what I mean. Um, didn't go to the NFL because while he was in college, he was accused of SA, and by the time his name was finally cleared, um, he was already in his late 20s. Like any shot of him going to the NFL was probably already gone.
It was already gone.
So the guy who looked very prominent, he was actually besides being just massive of a human being, he was also a very talented defensive lineman. Never got a shot in the NFL. Never got a chance to prove himself in the upper echelon, right, in American football, and because of this person. And yes, I do firmly believe if you get found that you were falsely accusing somebody, I feel like there should be some sort of penalty towards your end as well. But yeah, it is unfortunate. Hopefully, because as two people that do like Hakimi, and unfortunately the same thing happened with Mason Greenwood. Um, People still on the there's still people on the
They're
fence
still on
about
the
whether.
fence. There's still people on the fence. Yeah.
So it's unfortunate things happen with these players, and I think because of their status, some people view that as maybe potentially an easy target. Obviously, Hakimi has doesn't. I'm not saying has a history, but obviously, one of the things that Hakimi was very well known for was he put everything in his name that was in his name to his mother's name when he was married to this person, and obviously then the person tried to file a divorce, only to find out that Hakimi technically had nothing on his name, which I
Yep.
was, which I was like, that's just pure
That
greed.
was that is a boss move, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because like
Um,
if you have everything under your name, and the one person who will never take anything away from you, that's materialistic, financial, or otherwise, if anything they want to see you succeed, is your parents, is your mom. So
well, tell that to Eli
in
Apple's
certain
parents.
in certain situations, the thing is,
Yeah.
it's like they have a very close relationship, and being that they're really strong on their religion, you already know that she would not be one of those mothers would be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna take this because it's right here with me.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I
mhm.
think obviously it's gonna be something that's gonna be talked about throughout the season. Whether his name gets cleared or not, hopefully it does get cleared. At least that's what we're hoping for. Innocent until proven guilty, right?
Yep.
Um, so and hopefully it's not too much of a distraction. I know I know he's a very important player to the team, not just on the field but also obviously off the field as well. He's just a very professional player. But once again, innocent until proven guilty. But yes, there's gonna be a lot of distractions. I guess you can say for PSG's sake. Um, I'm sure they're going to be hyper focused on making sure Osman Dembele has the best opportunity to win the Ballon d'Or. He at least viewed as the front runner right now. I mean, you can't disagree with the season that he had. Not only as an individual player but as team impact as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that there's going to be a lot of different nuances that's going to be going on with this season. Obviously, maybe people are going to talk about the whole Luis Enrique and João Pedro incident that happened at the final of the Club World Cup. But yeah, I think it's going to be hard to follow up that last season. I don't think there's no way they completed a treble, right? I mean that's it's
That's
pretty
hard.
it's pretty
It's,
epic.
and right now, with everybody moving players around, like purchasing high players, like high number, like high value players. I mean, Liverpool with Florian Wirtz. You know, um, he is a baller. He's a techer. So the dude, and he has vision. So the dude is just he's cold. Like I've seen him play. I've seen him dribble. The dude's a beast. But so that's one, just one player. So imagine him. you know, making an impact, in the game, in the game. For Liverpool, I could see it happen. Um, Recently acquired Marcus Rashford from Barcelona. Um, I'm still like, man, like they have that he provides the speed. That's how I see it.
We'll
So
we'll, we'll
that's
get
something.
we'll get we'll get to that when we talk
Yeah,
about
we'll get to it.
La
But
Liga, but
basically, it's like everybody's been making these moves. So for them to get the treble is it's a very, very difficult position for the Champions League.
yeah, Champions League is always going to be hard. A lot of good, talented teams and all that, but um, I mean, obviously, the bar would have been super high had they won the Club World Cup. That would have been this would have just been the year of PSG, but and obviously they won't be able to get a chance to compete for that till after 4 years in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
But no, I think yeah, PSG has the bar is high, but as far as expectations goes, obviously everyone assumes that Ligue 1's going to be won by PSG. That's just the farmers league, if you will, for that notion. But I do think that a lot of teams here in Ligue 1 have gotten significantly better.
Oh
Do I
yeah.
do I think they're going to beat PSG? Probably not. But I just don't I don't expect them to go almost undefeated. Um, I think the Trope de France and Ligue 1 are things that they normally win anyways. But as far as like Champions League goes, it's always going to be a challenge. Teams are getting better. I mean, shoot, the team that they eliminated in the first knockout in the round of 16 was Liverpool. Liverpool was actually the front runner to win, like the heavy favorite to win the Champions League that last season,
Yeah.
and they beat them. They eliminated them. I think it was in penalties, and then after that, they just beat everybody on the way to the final. So, and then completely utterly embarrassed Inter Milan to the point where I don't even know what's going to happen with Inter Milan this year.
I
Um,
think Inter Milan is probably one of those teams that's going to stay stagnant for a bit because they haven't made that many moves that you would think, oh damn, that that player is going to make a big difference or anything. Like I think they're just staying stagnant.
exactly, and I think on top of all that, you have a very potentially a very interesting rival joining your city, your little town, literally maybe like not even 5 minutes away. And so like, am I saying Paris FC is going to be a major threat? No, but I think it's going to be interesting to see the people that are actual Paris FC fans and the PSG fans, like how that interaction is going to be, because Paris FC isn't a League Two team. Also, fun fact: I've used Paris FC plenty of times for Road to Glories, by the way. So it is a team that maybe I have my own soft spot for. Not,
Possibly, possibly.
not really. I mean, I don't have a team in Ligue 1, but so um, I have a PSG kit, but it's because of Sergio Ramos. Just so you guys don't try to shoot me by any means. But yeah, I think PSG the challenge will be how they follow this up. But I think in reality, Ligue 1 is what it's expected for them to win. The question will be how do they perform in Champions League? Which, by the way, back-to-back Champions League titles is not an easy feat. So
Nope.
yeah, so I don't know how they do that. Also, it does when it comes to the knockout rounds, it is a straight game of chance. Like maybe you get, I mean, I don't even think many people expected them to beat Liverpool, but sometimes it is a clash of matchup, right? Like sometimes maybe you go up against a team that the way PSG plays maybe is not as favorable to their style of play. So I mean, prime example. Also, Edward, I don't know how you felt about this, but if it was Barcelona instead of Inter Milan, do you feel the result would have been the same?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Because
That's a
I
tough.
I 1,000% believe that the score. I don't think it'd be 5-0. I'll be a little bit more respectful to your team, but I still expect PSG to beat y'all.
I
I,
mean, PSG, dude, the way they've been,
that
like I said, the way they've been soaring, the way they've been
it because
flying
because
is
when you
just,
when you look at that by the way, game of the year, Inter Milan and Barcelona, but
oh, dude, that was a scrappy game. I
but
loved it.
it was two teams that have a high press. And I mean, we saw what Inter Milan's. I mean, Once again, I'm gonna give more credit to y'all's high press versus Inter Milan's high press, but like that high press got destroyed by
Yep.
PSG because their style of play works perfectly towards that style of play. Their midfielders knew how to time their passes better, and they just never had an answer for Doué. They never had an answer for Kvaratskhelia and or Hakimi. So like, am I saying that Barcelona would have got 5-0? No, but once again with the way they time their passes, because honestly, like me trying to sound like a hater as a Madridista, if Mbappe would have just learned to time his runs a little bit better, games, maybe those games wouldn't have been as embarrassing as they were. I didn't expect to win. I wholeheartedly said Real Madrid was terrible last year, but just pointing that out. And also, Club World Cup didn't necessarily help me alleviate me from that answer about our defense. So I still believe in you, Xavi. But yeah, PSG, man, like I think that. But is that now the new? Is there like a new standard for PSG, or do you feel like f- fans are not gonna be too ahead of themselves, if you will?
Look, I'm gonna tell you straight up. After a treble, everybody expects that team to basically stay on that level. They don't expect them to go down. If anything, they expect them to go up.
Okay, so that's unfortunate.
So yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like it's hard to do, but when you've seen these players, especially in even in this the Club World Cup, you know, they were playing good. I mean they were playing really well. It wasn't
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
bad or anything like that. It
yeah.
was
They didn't look like a team that just played more games than everybody else in the entire tournament.
yeah, yeah, and it's just they look equal. It was just like I said, once tempers ran high because everything wasn't going to plan, then
Also, I would say maybe Chelsea had the better. Their style of play clashed a little bit more to PSG.
yeah, yeah.
So, so that could, and also Cole Palmer, by the way. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
dude, Cole Palmer has been he is if Chelsea will ever let him go, like let's say for any X amount of money,
Morons.
dude,
Morons.
that's right
Like
now.
Manchester,
Let me put it this way.
but
Let me put it this way.
first
Let
of
me
all,
put it this
Manchester
way.
City was already stupid for letting him go because I thought that kid was nasty already when he was with Man City. So, but yeah, if Chelsea lets go of Cole Palmer, yes, morons.
Let me tell you something. The right now, Cole Palmer is the Frank Lampard of back in the day. The
Mm.
way that he's moving and the way his shooting is. Not the power shot, not the Frank Lampard power shot, but the way that he can actually score outside the box, the way that he can actually do the free kicks,
I
the
mean,
way that he can set up the plays.
the way he just puts his team on his back, bro.
Yeah,
Like he's like,
yeah,
I got this, guys. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
He's like,
dude, like legit. That's what I'm getting at. Like he's the Frank Lampard of back in the day for
but yeah,
Chelsea.
and we'll get to Frank Lampard. We'll get to Cole Palmer. We'll get to Cole Palmer in a bit.
All right.
But yeah, so PSG, I'm gonna be intrigued how they respond to obviously just a very long grueling season because yes, they played I would argue more games than anybody else.
Yeah, their rest
It
time is less than most teams. Let's put
so
it that way.
I'll be intrigued how they follow up. Obviously, there's some I would say distractions happening right now for them, but how they prevail and how they keep their status quo, I think will be very intriguing for the season. Um, Olympic Lyon. One day we find out they're getting relegated because once again they are extremely broke.
Yeah.
They just can't. Unfortunately, this is an issue that's happening throughout Ligue 1. Obviously, Bordeaux was disbanded because of finance issues. So, there's a lot of more teams similar to Lyon's situation where they don't have the necessarily funds. And if you guys aren't familiar, Lyon was in a situation where they had to start letting go start figuring out some things with their finances in order to stay afloat in Ligue 1. And if they weren't able to, they were to be relegated to League Two.
Yep.
We found out they were getting relegated to League Two, but then I guess obviously they appealed it, and so then they were found that they were in fact in good standing, and that's why they're back in Ligue 1. So they were relegated, but then they were not relegated. That
Yeah,
makes
they were
sense.
relegated for like a short, very short time.
And then Matt Turner was supposed to be their next goalkeeper. Um, and then they decided, and then somehow, I don't know how, they're great lawyers somehow, I guess, were able to say, we can't sign him. If we sign him, we're financially fucked. Sorry for cousin Kelsey. Um, so we can't have that. So then Matt Turner was not under contract with Olympic Lyon, but now I think he is under contract with Olympic Lyon, and they're sending him out to New England to be there on a loan. So amazing lawyers to
You're
figure
just
out.
I think you're laughing more about the fact that you cussed after you said about the rule thing, and then then the whole lawyer thing.
I'm also just not much of a Matt Turner fan anymore.
Mm,
Like, and honestly, like, I was actually excited for him to go to Ligue 1. I thought this was a good opportunity. They don't have a goalkeeper. They still don't have a goalkeeper, or at least like an official one, starting goalkeeper. I'm not. Maybe they have some goalkeepers, but they not have a starter caliber goalkeeper.
yeah,
Obviously, they let go of Cherky. He's now over at Man City. I don't know how many other players they let go of, but aside from that, like Leon is going to be in an interesting situation where I'm sure they're still going to have to work with their finances to make sure that they are back in within good standing, which is unfortunate, obviously, because Lyon is a well-known club in France, have won many titles in France. Obviously, a lot of big players came from France because Olympique Lyon has a very well-known academy. Not Barcelona-esque, but for Ligue 1, I think that's kind of their La Masia, I guess you can say.
yeah.
Um, so it's unfortunate with teams of this. Same thing for Bordeaux, right? A well-known club from France, and now I think they disbanded, but now they're back, but they're like in the really low divisions of French football. So it's one of those things where you want to see you want to see this team afloat, right? Because if teams like them, then who's to say maybe the same thing happens for Marseille? What happens if maybe not Monaco because they got that oil money, but I mean like
Yeah.
what happens when those clubs disappear and it does eventually just become PSG?
Yep.
It's not what you want to see, right? Um, but yeah, for Leon, that's like their situation. And then this is an interesting topic because, like I mentioned, the whole thing about teams getting disbanded because of lack of funding. They're not getting as much money as they're hoping. The TV deal that they have isn't necessarily doing as great as they were hoping. And I think it just becomes to the end of the day, maybe people just don't really care too much for Ligue 1 because PSG wins it every year, or at least that's the opinion, right? Um, because I'll be honest with you, I'll watch a few matches there, here and there of Ligue 1, but am I really Am I emotionally invested in Ligue 1? No. Um, I'm a La
Basically,
Liga.
I think we both have that same feel for Ligue 1. Like we love the style of player PSG, but that's the thing. It's just PSG. But if one of our, let's say one of our players from like from Madrid or Barcelona ends up getting sold to a team in Ligue 1, we'll go ahead and keep an eye out and we'll just want to see how they're doing. And of course, we'll keep an eye. Like that's the thing. It's like I think that's the way we see Ligue
Mm-hmm.
1, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I
No,
mean,
yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong.
no, you're 100% right. Like, I mean, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna start watching some Olympic Martial matches because Tim Weah is going there. So, being a very supportive adopted parent. So
Just
we're keeping that joke. Um, but but yeah, like I think that there's gonna be those instances and how we do respond to that. But so Lee Gunn's response, at least they're trying. Like I said, they're trying to do things to get more eyes on Lee Gunn. And an idea that's been brought up: a playoff format has been brought up in league. Now, it's not happening this season, by the way. It is a conversation that's going to be had probably throughout this year. Is if League One should consider doing a playoff format to decide their champion. Um, do I know the format that I'm thinking of? No. Is it if I'm gonna guess, Edward, just hear me out.
uh
Maybe it's their top four. top
Maybe.
top four does a playoff. I think I think what Ligue 1 is thinking, people aren't watching this league because it's just PSG that wins it. If we were able to show that this league has other potential champions, because last team to win that wasn't PSG was Lille, and that was like after COVID, I believe.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's right.
which Tim Whale, by the way, was on that team. But uh, yeah, so like
Wasn't that the season that what you call it? Was it COVID season where they
no,
were like, oh yeah, all of the players, all of the PSG players were basically tested and they tested positive, so they had to play with like their reserves mostly.
I don't think that happened.
I could have sworn that it happened to PSG.
Well, because it was our first, yeah, it was like 2020 started the 2021 season, right? That was our
Yeah.
first official year of the podcast. Yeah, because a fight broke out between Marseille and PSG.
Yeah.
That's how I always remember this podcast by. that's,
This
that's
dude.
I remember like telling people like, hey man, guys, watch Le Classique. It's gonna be a fun game. Didn't expect a brawl to happen, but hey,
It was a fun game.
it was a
It
fun
was a
game.
fun game.
So, but I don't know. Do you think if Ligue 1 was to showcase that, hey, we have other teams that can compete, would you? Does the playoff format really answer that question for you, or you're like, well, PSG was the best team this year, like especially when it's like, because there's like seasons where PSG wins Ligue 1, similar to Bayern Munich with the Bundesliga, right? Like where it was like it's April, they already won the league, like it's not even remotely close. Um, now Bundesliga is a little different. Here's, I think that's a fair argument, right, Edward? Like people still watch the Bundesliga,
Yeah.
even though Bayern Munich has dominated that league for more years than PSG has. But people still watch Bundesliga. Like there's still people that genuinely follow Bundesliga. Like ESPN got Bundesliga because of how good their following is. So like I think the argument of I will say it will be nice to see different teams win competitions, and in a perfect world, it would be nice if different teams can win a trophy every once in a while. But
Wouldn't it be nice?
but the reality is just when it comes, it's just Bayern Munich has the better resources than most teams do. Like, and that's unfortunately that's the situation with PSG. They just unfortunately have the better resources. I mean, Monaco was supposed to contest that. That still hasn't happened. Um, but like you know, Bayer Leverkusen. That's going to be a conversation for another day. But but and yes, Dortmund was pretty close. Dortmund was pretty close to it. But I think that people still like because of the fall. I think it's the fandom of Borussia Dortmund that also helps why people watch the Bundesliga, and it's also because like there's a lot of talented young players in the Bundesliga. I mean, you get a chance to watch Jude Bellingham before Jude Bellingham. You get to watch Jude Bellingham. You got to watch Marco Rose. You got to watch Mario Götze. You got to watch a young Robert Lewandowski. I'm listening to too many former Borussia Dortmund players. Um,
Jadon Sancho, same thing.
Jaden, like there's players that like kind of how Edward mentioned. Like there's guys that go from Barcelona to Real Madrid, and Real Madrid that go to the Bundesliga. For instance, Danny Carvajal. He went to Bayer Leverkusen. So I was watching him play for Bayer Leverkusen, keeping hell Kai Havertz, right? Young Kai Havertz,
Yep.
Timo Werner when we almost thought he was good. Um, like
Damn. I'll, I'll
Hungmin Son,
remember Aubameyang. Aubameyang. Remember
Aubameyang, filthy Mkhitaryan,
Mkhitaryan,
Gundogan.
Gundogan.
Dude, Borussia Dortmund. Jesus Christ, how many good players did you guys
Dude,
have?
I'm telling you, dude, they have the one of the best academies out there where they
Christian
develop.
Pulisic.
Yeah, Christian Pulisic, dude, like they have one of the best academies out there, man. I'm not even not even stressing it, dude.
No,
Like
yeah,
that's the thing. It's like
you're not
Borussia,
glazing them. You're right. Like I mean,
Borussia Dortmund. Like that's why they don't struggle as you would think they would. Like, oh, they lost. Like what in the same year they lost
and
Götze and
and also
Lewandowski
and
to
also
Bayern Munich, I believe. It was
also
like one
I
following
think
year.
also by the way, best fans in football.
Oh, dude,
Like I
they're
like someone's gonna get mad at me for saying that, but like who hates a besides a Bayern Munich fan? Who hates a Borussia Dortmund fan?
Like they don't. Let's put it this way: they don't have wishy-washy fans. They don't have fans who boo them out of the stadium because they lost. They don't have fans that are like throwing bottles at them because they ended up playing such a bad game or anything like that. Like, dude, like Borussia Dortmund players, like they'll stay in the middle of it, even if it's like a round of 16 or something, and then they're still like just sad there, and you just hear the fans chanting the song, and you hear them clapping, you hear them like egging, like pushing them forward, like giving them their admirations. I was like, dude,
Also, all of them are involved. Like the tifos are
yes,
great.
yeah,
Everything. Like, yeah. Like who? Because once again, besides a Bayern Munich fan, who hates Borussia Dortmund? Like
that,
lovable fan base.
and
So
mind you, this is coming from a former. Well, I don't know if you're a former Bayern Munich fan, but like you
never.
were big on Bayern Munich.
I never. Well,
You,
I was a Philip Lahm fan.
yeah, you were a Philip Lahm fan. Um, Manuel Neuer, that was your go-to goalkeeper for a while.
I mean, he. There's no Iker Casillas all the way, man.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, but
no,
yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, dude was making penalty kicks. I mean,
yeah.
but yeah, like I mean, but yeah, Borussia Dortmund, you can't hate on that fan base, man. Like, not I don't even think it's possible. Like that is they are so committed, and I think that's what become like. Their fan base is awesome. They develop so many great players. Literally, the guy that won the World Cup for Germany, you know,
Yeah.
came
He,
from that academy,
yeah.
and
And
also
then
more often than not this year, great kits. So
yeah, dude, their kits are out, dude,
they
especially when they have
they
like
have a
those
great color
limited
scheme,
edition kits. No,
great color scheme,
the
great
thing
color
is
scheme.
when they have the limited edition, they to this day I still want it.
Oh, the
That
blackout.
all black, the black on
Oh
blackout. Yeah,
man,
dude. Dude, it was lovely. Even the names, the numbers, dude, it was so
that
nice,
was the
dude.
Puma collab. I remember that because I think
Yeah.
Mönchengladbach also had one. But yeah, man, like their color scheme is really awesome. It just it make their kits are always going to be good. Puma, I think if their rule of thumb is if we do anything right, we make sure that these Borussia Dortmund kits are fire. So one of them has to be at least great. So like, um, but yeah, we just talked about the Bundesliga. But once again, marketability. I think Bundesliga is more marketable than Ligue 1, unfortunately. I think that there's just unless you're an actual Ligue 1 fan. Like I just think that there's a lot of people that just view that as a farmers league because of all the guys that you because then you can also make the same argument for a lot of the players that come from Ligue 1, right? Karim Benzema, Camavinga, Chouameni. I know I'm listing a lot of Real Madrid players, but uh, Umtiti when he was actually good. I'm trying to think. I mean, Cherki just went over to Manchester City. Like a lot of guys from League One go to, and that's why they call it the Farmers League. But like, I mean, it's just not as marketable. Like I would argue that a lot of people will still go watch Bundesliga, despite that they have that Bayern Munich is probably going to win it again, versus League One, who maybe people just don't care too much to watch it unless there's a player that they are kind of intrigued by, um, or they just want to watch PSG. So, like, I don't know if the playoff format is the solution, but I mean, maybe just because I think the problem is that they're not getting good they're not getting good views on television, and because of that they're not able to get more money. I mean, they got McDonald's to be their league sponsor. Let that sink in. So, what do you do at this point, right?
I mean, I you can't really fight that. I mean, for one, we
Does the playoff
think about it
format
this
even
way.
intrigue you? Like, does the playoff format at all like intrigue you for League One?
Uh, I mean, to be honest, not really, not necessarily, but I'll give you this. It gives the smaller team, whether it's the fourth place team, a chance to at least, let's say they get seeded and play against,
Well,
PSG.
they would have to play the first place team, I would assume.
Yeah, but then they would play against them, and then somehow in some weird thing that's happened before. You can never, that's the thing about, like we always say, it's the thing about soccer. It's unpredictable. We don't know when the small teams are going to end up coming out full charge and end up winning. and it could happen. And then next you know, it's like PSG doesn't get the League Cup. Like
Hmm.
they don't win. So it's a it's a fair argument to say that yeah, it's yeah, it would be intriguing. But personally, me, I would probably be like, I'll watch it like if I can, kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, yeah, and I think I will say people would probably be like, oh, look, there's this final. I mean, but aside from that, I just I don't know. I think um like I don't really know what the real solution would be. Like, there's nothing really you can do unless you want to just put a cap on the salaries. Like, if you really want to like make sure PSG just cannot be overpowering, which I
Yeah,
don't even think you can say that because a lot of the players right now for PSG aren't necessarily they're not high profile players.
yeah, they're not.
Like
That's
I think the
I think
highest profile player is
Dembele
Dembele
right now,
and Hakimi and Donnarumma.
Donnarumma.
Like
The thing
those are the
the
high
thing is
profile guys.
right now at this moment though, Due is coming out.
Do is on the
He's
come up.
he's he's on
Uh,
Turkey, dude. Just by him doing those Tekker moves, dog, and
well,
that freaking shot.
he's Man City.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Uh,
No, what's his name? I can't say his name.
Kvaratskhelia.
Uh, Yeah, yeah, there. Him, dude. He's also like that's the thing. It's like he's also a Tekker, and he has a crazy shot as well. So I'm like,
I
he's
mean,
also one that's like
Nuno
outstanding out.
Mendes. Nuno
Nuno
Mendes.
Mendes.
I mean, maybe some people will argue best left back in the world right now.
Mhm. I
Won't
mean,
say everybody. Won't say everybody, but
there may not be big names that you're like, oh my God, like they have their own contract with Adidas or Nike, Puma,
I mean,
whatever. But
Vitinha couldn't even make it in the Wolves starting lineup,
but yet,
and he's a star here.
yeah.
You know, Jao Neves, another guy that maybe not many people knew of. He's solid for PSG. Like, this team is stacked, man. But
But
it's
it's
not
not stacked with like oh
it's not
hey
let's not let's go
it
get Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Edson Cavani.
yeah,
Like, it is this.
it's not at those moments right now. Like
Yes.
they're good right
So
now.
even if you put a cap, I don't even think I think PSG would actually technically fall under whatever cap that would be because these guys aren't expensive. Aside maybe, like I said, maybe like two or three, like three or four players maybe would be a little bit more expensive. Like, I don't even think they have they would affect the salary cap in any extent. So, and I mean, I think Donnarumma is also rumored to be, yeah,
He's rumored to be picked up by
Inter. I think I
yeah
think Inter, and then but I believe I think PSG is getting the goalkeeper from Lille. So, I mean, so Donnarumma's off the book. So even if you were to put a salary cap on PSG, like they would probably still be within under their finances.
yeah.
So yeah, unless you want to put a cap, unless you want to say Luis Enrique's contract is part of that salary cap, but yeah, like I don't know. I think Ligue 1, the only thing they can do is just hope that their teams get better, and that's a lot to ask.
I think we'll see this season. I think there will be surprises this season with all these especially like I said with the Paris Derby. I think there will be surprises.
Yeah, and I think Martial got a little stronger. They're getting better, right? I mean, like
And the thing
Deserby's doing good.
the thing I want to see is like our 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 Olympic Lyon gonna do right now with all the crap that happened and they had to let go of Turkey. You know what I mean?
Would that be your team to watch this year?
I would say so. I just want to see because technically they may be out of the red, but does that mean that they're actually like right on the edge of it? Like they're just
I
at
mean,
the end of it?
as someone that your club Barcelona was going through kind of maybe
A similar situation.
not on the cusp of relegation bad, but I mean like you were at a point where whatever money you brought in you couldn't spend it.
Yeah,
You were out like
just
on a
hold on to it.
yeah. So
Had to sell the naming rights to the stadium. Goddamn.
yeah, so almost made your own jerseys.
Yeah,
So like yeah, it was
had to have a Tijuana over there building jerseys on the side of the freaking field and everything.
Yeah, I think for me, the team to watch for sure is gonna be Paris FC. Like, hopefully they're not one of those teams that get promoted and they get right back down. Um, I kind of want to see what this fan base is all about. I want to see. I just want to see the image, the images of like the fans from Paris FC walking across the street, or like the players instead of taking a bus, they're just walking across the street to the to the stadium.
Jesus.
That'd be funny. Player to watch for you, Edward, for this league on season. You mentioned a few guys. I'm sure one of them is the one that pops off your head.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I know everybody's gonna be keeping an eye on Dembele, but I would say do it. Even
Mm-hmm.
though he's in PSG, I would say do it just to see because he was the one that was killing those boys. Like Dembele, we already know he's always gonna go for the wing, and he's gonna outrun. That's the name. That's the name
I
of the
mean,
game.
do
Do
it.
it, do it. Outruns, but the thing is, he cuts in a lot and doesn't just go on the wing. And he also does like playmaker style.
I also love the fact that he was initially the second youngest player to score a goal in a Champions League final, and then I believe like like when they subbed in the another young player, he became
Oh
the
yeah, he
second
became
the second
yeah.
youngest player to score.
That it was like at the last minute, and it was like his jersey number wasn't it like a 42 or something? Like it wasn't even
It was a high
like
number,
a
I think.
it was
Yeah,
a high number, but it wasn't anything that you would be like, oh damn, like it
it
was
was
just
just. I just thought that was a funny thing. That's not my player to watch. I think for me, my team. Yeah, I already said Paris FC. So my player to watch. I'll probably go with Tim Weah. I mean, this is now he's going to enter his third French team now. Obviously, was a product of PSG's academy. Won a trophy with PSG. Went to Lille. Won a trophy with Lille. Is he the good luck charm for France? Does can he
for the
do
French league.
can he do it for Martial? Probably not. But but I mean, hey, I think he's a good piece for the team. I think he could. I think him alongside with Mason Greenwood and and Mapai, I think that could be a really interesting pairing. Yeah, I actually want to see what Marcelo does this year. So I think I have all the reasons now to watch it because Tim Weah is over there. So so I can't wait for that for that at least for him. But I think Due is going to be so fun. I think PSG had to change so much with their lineup because of Due. Because I believe it was going to be Dembele. I forgot I forgot who was the other player on the wing before Due, and then you had Barcola,
Oh, that's right, Barcola.
and then you had Gonzalo Ramos up front. But
Yeah,
because Due was just so good, you had to have him on the wing, and so Dembele took that nine role,
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
like a false nine, kind of that I think. So then Gonzalo Ramos just became the guy that just sat on the bench. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I think it's very interesting. I mean, PSG did a lot of interesting moves. I remember they moved Koulibaly Amani over to Juventus, and then they went and got Kvaratskhelia. So I mean, like, yeah, PSG is a different run team. With that being said, man, will PSG win the league? And if not, who?
I still have my hopes with PSG.
Yeah, I think they're right now too good.
Like I said, all around team, the coach, the coaching staff, everybody, like they're all there. Like they're literally on the field. It's not just like watching them and just okay, just kind of that. And like he's a player's coach. He's a player's coach. You can't take that away from him. Like,
I
dude, like
mean,
the celebration, even the him fight. Come on, think about it. What coach actually goes out there and is about to fight the opposing player of the other team, dude? Like, who does that?
I love this
I've
spin
not
zone.
seen that.
I love this spin zone for Enrique. This
That's what
this
I'm saying. I was
this
like,
guy is such a team player. He's out there fighting for his team.
he literally is. Like, he went ahead and, hey man, like you don't do that. You don't do that. I got you. Like, let's box. Boom. Let's go.
Bro, I love that. I love that was a good one. Yeah, I got PSG as well. I think they're the better team defensively. Also, people don't talk about how good their defense is, by the way.
Oh
Mind
yeah.
mind you, you have fullbacks that go up and attack,
and come back down.
and come back and defend. So yeah, because also Nuno Mendes, another
And
guy.
and that's the thing. And they played so smart. Like that, usually, you would think, okay, they're tired, so they can't do that same attack anymore. They'll go ahead and keep possession of the ball for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, like a minute and a half in, 2 minutes, they're like, all right, they got their wind. All right, let's go. They start seeing Hakimi take a running roll already. They already know, okay, let's go ahead and do counterattack mode. Like let's go ahead and do the winger play mode. Like they go ahead
And then
and
you got João Neves just sprinting down, which
yep.
is because people forget about the center midfielders, but you shouldn't. That I mean, the dude was playing fullback for Portugal, so I mean, yeah, this team knows how to rotate their squad. Luis Enrique is just a great coach. Yeah, I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Who is that guy?